Hi everyone and welcome to Emmanuel's Design Lab. Today we'll be creating a project using Figma. It's going to be a Doctor Consult App design, and I believe there will be a lot that you will learn in today's video. That will include things like auto layout, prototyping, name it, use of colors, shapes, and very many other things. So this is a full package, and I believe by the end of this video you will be more skilled in your knowledge of Figma. Without wasting time, let's dive right into today's video. Alright, so this is what you can expect from this video. So we're going to create a splash screen page where we can actually move and have a sign up page, something like that. So basically these are the things you can expect. So we're going to basically work on this design. Alright, so now first thing we're going to do is we're going to insert a frame. Then we're going to choose the right size. We're going to choose iPhone 16. I believe this will be perfect for our project. Then you can name your project anything you want, but I'll call it my Doctor Consultation App. And there we go. Now next we're going to insert a layout guide. Just make sure it's chosen as columns. Then we're going to set the margin to 30, the size that I actually want. And there we go. That's actually how we're going to have it. Now next we're going to go to some website where we're going to download some SVG icons. Alright, so go to your browser, and then inside your browser just type and draw illustrations. Then here we go. So we're going to choose the very first option, and then this is going to be giving us very many options that we can actually use. So first of all, we're going to set a color. So it's going to be a color that sets the tone for the project that we're actually working on. So these are the coordinates I'm going to go with. Just type in 078A27. So that's actually what I will actually go with. And now since it's a doctor app, you're going to search for doctor. So just type doctor. Then when you type doctor, you're going to get a variety of options. This is the option we're looking for. So we're going to download this SVG. So just click download SVG for our projects. Then we're going to need to have one for sign in and sign up. So just type in sign. Then this is the one we're going to use. So select this and download that. So now we have those in our download. So go back to your Figma project and go to this top, place image. Then go to your downloads to where the SVG files have downloaded, and then we're going to place them into our project. So this is how it's going to be. Alright, so let's start with this very first one. We're going to place it into our frame, then hold shift. We're going to compress it, make sure that it actually touches these two margin lines of the layout guide. Alright, so I think that's actually how it should be. That's how we want it. Alright, so now we're going to go to our plugins. I have the plugin called Iconify installed, but you can make sure to install it if you don't have it already. So search for medical, and then inside medical I have a variety of options, and I think these options actually work to my liking. I'm going to choose this. So I'm going to search for one that represents the battery. So search for battery. We're going to need something to represent our battery bars. So we're going to make use of this one. Search for Wi-Fi. Yeah, so something that represents Wi-Fi signal. There we go. Then search for signal. Sorry, wrong spelling. Signal. And this bar will work for us. Alright, so we're going to place this strategically at the top. Now these come inside frames, but I'm going to drag them out from the frames that they come in. So just click inside, then you can actually delete the frames that they came in. So I'm only interested in the pieces that came. Okay, so we're going to place these right alongside each other. It's going to have the signal right there. Make sure that they're actually aligned together. Okay, so that's it. Then also drag this out from its frame. Then we're going to strategically place it at the top. Alright, so next we're going to type in some text. We're going to type in the text consult. Now we're going to go here, select scale. So we're going to scale it upwards. Okay. Strategically. Alright, so that would do. Then we can actually close this. Then we're going to need to give this a bold kind of feel. Let's give it a bold. Alright, so next we're going to copy the colors that we actually have here. So just copy the fill, select this, green. Then we're also going to do the same thing here. We're going to make use of this green color right there. Alright, let's just push this a little bit to the top. There we go. Now we're going to duplicate this text, duplicate it. Then we're going to change the words. Type in consult specialist doctors securely and privately. Alright, so make sure it's aligned to center. Then we're going to just reduce the text size to 20. Okay, that's how we want to have it. Then we're just going to have to make sure it's positioned to the center. There we go. Now we're going to change the text color to black for this case. Then we're going to duplicate this. Oh, but actually instead of duplicating it, let's right click, go to our plugins, make sure to install the plugin Lorem Ipsum. It's going to be very, very useful in this case. It's going to help us generate text, some dummy text. So right here we're going to auto generate. Okay, now we're going to make sure to put this font size regular. So this is just some dummy text, fill in the gaps. Okay, so next we're going to have a button that we're going to place right here. Let's go to where we actually have our shapes. Then we're going to choose the rectangle shape. We're going to place the rectangle shape right below this text. Let's first give it a color, a color. We're going to give it the same color, green, as we've had in other texts. Then we're going to need to type in some text on the inside. Just type in the words get started. Okay, then we're going to bring this to the top, so bring to front. Okay, then select both of these and make sure it's actually centered. Okay, so just make sure this touches the layout guide exactly at the border. Okay, when you select these, just make sure they actually just align to the center of the whole app. Then we're going to set the corner radius to 20. Now next we're going to make a copy of this text. Then we're going to set a time. Just type in the text 10:30 p.m. So we need to have a time in our app. Let's set the font size to 15. Alright, just make sure they actually align together. Alright, and then that red line actually helps us make sure they're actually in the same straight line. Now we move on to the next page. We're going to simply make a duplicate of this. Then we actually now have the second page. Then inside here we're going to make a change. We're going to get rid of this. So in this second page we're going to make the register form. Now, one thing I think we can do is let's actually first remove in the first page, let's get rid of the layout guide so you can actually see how it actually looks. Let's actually make this a little bit grayish. Let's make it grayish. Okay. Alright, so something else, we're going to insert a rectangle right here. We're going to start from the very top, then we're going to send it to back. Make sure that it is actually sent to the back. Then we're going to give it a fill. Let's actually give it some form of gray. Yeah, some shade of gray. Yeah, a gray color, as you can see. And we're going to change the text here to sign up. Make sure this is a small p. Then we're going to make a duplicate of this rectangle. Now, first thing we're going to do is we're going to change its background color. The background color is actually going to be white. Then we're going to add some text on the inside. So the first piece of text is enter. I'd set mine to caps lock. Enter your full name. Now we're going to need to make this text much smaller. Let's change this to size 12. Let's make sure it's actually regular. You know what? Let's make it 15. Let's give it the same color as this text here. Let's give it that same. Let's give it a light gray, because this is just placeholder text. Let's make sure it's actually just a dull gray. Let's make sure our text is more to the right. Then we can actually select both of these and we can actually group them. Then you can actually now make duplicates. Then you can select all these groups. Then you can right click and you can add an auto layout. Now the auto layout will actually allow us to actually make sure that they're actually set vertically in the right way. Make sure that the gaps is actually the same. I'm going to set the gaps to 45 first. And I think that's okay. That works for me. So same gap. Now I'm going to change this to enter your email. Change this to enter your password. And change this to confirm your password. Alright, that's much better. Now I'm going to duplicate this text. Change the wording to register with us. Let's change the text color to black. Make sure it's actually centered. Now you know what? Let's do something. Let's actually reduce the gap between these. Let's change it to 35. Okay, let's drag this a little bit down. Then we're going to make a duplicate of this text. Then type in the words, your information is safe with us. And we're going to reduce the size of this to 15. Okay, then let's just make sure that it's actually set to regular. So make sure that all this is actually centered. Drag this down somehow. Alright, so now we're going to give this a corner radius at the top. Let's give this a corner radius of, let's try 20. Alright, so let's just add some cool design. Okay, and then there are those that may actually already have accounts. So we need to have some text for them. So, already have an account. So this is a question. Sign in. So there will actually be another page for those that already have accounts and are just ready to sign in. So make this bold. Then I'm going to also give this the same green color as what we have here. Make sure this text is also centered. There we go. And I believe that's it for the registration page. We're going to make a duplicate of it also. Let's actually see how it looks. Let's hide the layout guide. As you can see, it's actually looking good. Let's just make sure this is actually more dull, not... Alright, that's actually looking good. Let's make sure this actually copies that exact gray color. Now the sign-in page will only have 2 inputs. Let's delete this. Let's delete this last one. Because in the sign-in page, the user will only need to show their email and password. And that should be enough for them to sign in. Alright, so let's make a duplicate of this text here. Place it right below that. Make sure that it's centered. Let's change this text to forgot password. Then let's change this to don't have an account. So for such a person, they're supposed to sign up. Let's change this text to welcome back. Now we're going to give this page an even cooler design. Let's add this SVG icon. Alright, so position it into the middle, but before we do that, I think we also need to remove it from its frame. Let's do that. Then delete the frame. Alright, so we just need the item itself. You know what, let's position this a little bit lower. Okay. Let's center it. We're going to need to move this a little bit back to the top. Now let's change this text here. This is supposed to be sign in. Alright, so one more thing. Let's add some unique decoration to the sign in and sign up page. You know what? Let's add some ellipses. I'm going to place this right there. Now I'm going to send this, actually just make sure it's placed within. Then I'm going to send it to the back. Send this to back. Then I'm going to give it some shade of green that is a little bit lighter than what we have here. Let's first choose that. Then let's choose a lighter shade of it. Let's make it much lighter. Alright, something like that. Then we're going to duplicate this again. Then we're going to give this another shade of green, but yeah, now more dense. Yeah, now this also has to go to the back, but not behind the other ellipse. Let's bring it above it. Okay, that's looking the way I want it to do. Let's reduce the size of this a little bit. They should be smaller. Okay, something like that. Then we're going to select this. Click Alt, then drag, then make a copy. Let's make sure these are also positioned right below all the icons. Alright, that's more like it. Now let's make one duplicate of this. Then we're going to have that welcome page. Okay, now we're going to disable the layout guide, and this is what we have for the sign in page. I think it's looking good. It's looking very good. Alright, so let's do one thing. Let's label these pages. Let's give it the right name. So this is the splash screen. Then this is the sign up screen. Then we have the sign in screen. Then lastly, for this example, we shall work on the welcome screen. Welcome screen. Alright, so now we're going to work on the welcome screen. But before we do that, let's first make sure we import some icons. So first of all, search for filter. And we're going to get some icons from the filter list. So we're going to make use of this. Then click search. So we'll need a search icon. This will do the trick. You're also going to need a home icon. A home icon will help a lot. Let's make use of this. Search for bell. Profile. Then search for star icon. And we're also going to need the menu icon. This is the one we're going to use. Then search for arrow. We'll make use of this one. Alright, now we can close that. Now make sure to select each one of these and drag them out of their frames. Okay, there we go. Okay, now we're going to get rid of this. So we're going to first place in, but before we do that, let's first put back on the layout guide. For that should still be very useful. Let's scale that up a little. Duplicate that. Type in the text hello. Then let's make this regular. We're going to reduce the size of this text. Let's try font size 15. Okay, just make sure they are aligned together with that menu icon. It's looking good. Now we're going to insert an ellipse. It's going to be an ellipse that is like a placeholder for profile pictures. Let's actually drag this a little bit lower. And I'm going to make a copy of these two ellipses because we're going to need them also on this page exactly the same way. Make sure they're dragged way below. Let's make sure it touches that margin in the layout. Now we're going to right click this, then we're going to choose one of our plugins. So we're going to go and open Pexels. So Pexels will allow us access images. I'm going to go with this option right here, so just click on it and it should cover. Then on your inside, you're going to choose the image, then you're going to crop it. Want it to be cropped and centered. Then choose the dimensions of the photo. Okay, now it seems it fits better. Alright, so that's actually how we wanted it to be. Next, we're going to make use of the rectangle shape again. We're going to have a search bar. We're going to give it some shade of gray. Let's give it the feel of this gray right here. Then we're going to go to where we have its corner radius. Set the corner radius borders to 10. Actually, we're going to set it to 10 for all. There we go. And we're going to bring in this search icon. Then this filter icon. Then we're going to duplicate this. Let's send this to the back so that we can actually see this. So search doctor is going to be the placeholder text. Let's reduce the opacity of this. Alright. Now I'm going to make a copy of this text. So we're going to have a list of doctors that appears when a user searches. Let's make this extra bold. We're going to duplicate this. So we're going to assume there are going to be very many departments. Psychology, for example. Let's reduce this font to 15. Then we're going to duplicate it. Then we're going to duplicate it one more time. So just observe. As you can see it at some point the digit 56 appears. So that means they're actually evenly spaced. So I'm going to call this cardiology. Then this is gastroenterology. Okay, let's make sure that they're spaced correctly again. Okay, that's looking good. Now we're going to draw a line so that we know which one is active. Going to give this a yellow. Yellowish orange. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to insert in some images. Now I have some, I'm going to share them in the description, but I have some 2 PNGs that I'm going to make use of. If you want to use them, you can actually find them in the description. So these are the 2 PNGs that we're going to be making good use of. So their backgrounds are already removed, so they are actually ready for use. Okay, let's just make sure that they're actually at the same height. Then I'm going to make use of the rectangle tool again. I'm going to place a rectangle right above them. Then I'm going to send this to the back. Then we're going to give this, let me just lock this so that I can access the rectangle. I'm going to give it this same green color, but I'm going to actually curve it from the top. Give it a corner radius of 10. Make a duplicate of it. Make sure you hold shift as you reduce the size, the dimensions, so it actually looks more like mine. Let's make it a little bit wider. Okay, and there we go. Now next we're going to make use of the rectangle tool again, but let's first delete this. This time we're going to have a menu right below them. It's more like a card that actually shows the details about the doctor. Let's change this to 15. Then we're going to add some effects. Let's actually add a shadow. Alright, it's already looking good. Then we're going to duplicate this text, bring it to front, change this text to Dr. Mozia Gloria. You can actually name it whatever you choose. That's just how I've chosen to name mine. Duplicate this text. So this is a senior psychologist. Let's make this regular. Font size 10. And I'm going to give this some form of gray, so that it's actually lighter. Then I'm going to duplicate this, Alt. Then I'm going to make use of the scaling tool, scale it down a little bit. Then we shall call this other doctor Dr. Margaret Smith. Let's call this a cardiologist. Alright, now we're going to make use of our stars right here, so just bring it in. So we're going to have some ratings for the doctors. So I'm going to duplicate this 5 times. Then select each of them. Make sure you hold Ctrl. actually hold shift, right click, then we're going to create an auto layout. So it has actually done a horizontal layout and it's already looking good. I don't think there's anything I would want to change right now. They actually laid out properly. Yeah, so we're going to now give the doctor the ratings, and we're going to give this the same color that we actually have there. Okay, now I want to do the same thing for each of these, give them the same color. Yeah, now we have a duplicate of that. Let's give this doctor all 5 stars. Okay. Alright, then we're going to create another menu right below this. So it's just going to be informative. So just type in instant appointment. Then we're going to drag this, just get rid of that text, drag this to the bottom. Then we're going to create another navigation menu right below this. So set this to 0 on the bottom. First create a duplicate of this search again. Duplicate of this search. Now let's make sure that they actually all have the same height. These navigation icons, just bring them together. Okay. Okay, now each one of them is going to have a white color. I think except this one. This one should not have a fill, but can have a white stroke. Now we're going to also do the same thing. We're going to give it, add an auto layout, then bring that back in. Then now we're going to increase the gap. Let's increase the gap to 70. Okay, I think it's looking good. Let's just make sure this fills the gap right here. Let's center line this. You know what, let's first right click, go to our plugins, let's open lorem ipsum again, select the search, the text icon, then let's auto generate text again. Okay, now let's set this to regular. Okay, looks good to me. Let's bring this in, scale this down. Then we're going to add some, let's change the color. We're going to add a different shade of blue. Let's use the blue that's actually on her coat. Let's duplicate this. So this is actually a read more button. I think we can scale this down to size 12. Why not? Okay, now we're going to bring this arrow here, so this allows us to navigate. Let's rotate this by -90. Perfect. I'm going to give it that same shade of yellow. Okay, alright, our app is looking good. Now we can remove the layout guide. Now, lastly, let's do some prototyping. So I want it that when a user clicks get started, it sends them to the sign in page, and then if they click on the sign up button right here, it will actually direct them to this page here. Otherwise, if they click sign in, it sends them to the welcome screen. But let's work on that. Let's click on get started. Let's go to the prototyping mode. Then we're going to add an interaction. So this shall be on tap. We're going to navigate to. So when someone clicks on this, it should allow them to navigate to the sign in screen. As simple as that. I think that can happen instantly, or we can actually make it a smart animation. But you know what, for such a case it can actually just be, let's create a dissolve. Now when a user clicks on sign up, it sends them to this page right here. It sends them to the page of signing up. Then when they click on the sign in, it directs them back here. Okay, and then lastly, when a user clicks on sign in, it sends them to the welcome page. Alright, let's test it. Click on preview. Let's test our app. And as you can see, when it opens up, we are on the splash screen. When I click on get started, it opens the sign in page. When I click on sign up, it sends me back to the registration page, so I can go back to sign in from here, as you can see. Then when a user enters their details and clicks sign in, they're able to go to the welcome screen. And that's how we create a Doctor Consult app design. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video really helped you. My intention for this video was to just help you get some basics of Figma and to just get familiar with the tools. If this video really helped you, I encourage you to give this video a like and a thumbs up, and feel free to share it with those that you can. And then if you're new to this channel, I encourage you to join the community by clicking on the subscribe button, and then make sure to hit that notification bell so that you get updated every single time I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.